Hi, I'm Russ from Weights and Biases, and today I'll be discussing W&B Weave online evaluations, a new feature that allows scoring production traces in real time, enabling continuous monitoring of AI applications and agent performance to catch issues instantly and maintain quality over time. Developing the best performing AI agent or application requires rigorous, thorough evaluations. Whether assessing accuracy, cost, latency, safety, or any other performance dimension, deploying an application into production with confidence demands a complete end-to-end understanding of how it'll behave under all possible circumstances. To test applications, we implement scoring algorithms and build datasets that incorporate or reflect real-world input. But whether using real customer data or generating synthetic data on our own, it's simply impossible to predict every possible scenario and how it'll be handled by our application. Monitoring is critical when productionizing AI. The non-deterministic nature of LLMs, evaluation datasets missing corner cases, and unanticipated changes in production environments are just a few examples of challenges confronting even the most iteration-hardened AI applications. To ensure the success of our applications, it's critically important that we continually supervise their inputs and outputs, not only during development, but also after deployment into production. Confidently moving our AI application into production is the result of evaluation and optimization driven by rapid iteration. During the evaluation phase, we use scores to generate metrics and track progress. We measure cost and latency to ensure that the application is meeting performance requirements. And we also keep a very close eye on whether application responses might include hallucinations or toxicity. We weigh the importance of different performance dimensions and decide what trade-offs we might be willing to make. Are we willing to pay more for improved accuracy? Are we willing to trade a more thorough, detailed answer for faster response times? But in regards to hallucinations and toxicity, there are often trade-offs we are not willing to make. Evaluations conducted during development, prior to deployment, should identify unacceptable behavior and provide an opportunity to address it before an application is put in front of a customer or end user. After deployment, Weave guardrails act as an additional layer of protection and can be used to safeguard your application and protect users and your application from any malicious or dangerous requests or responses. But whereas guardrails act as a barrier, preventing the input or output from reaching its intended target, Weave monitors record performance metrics in real time but run asynchronously and don't interfere with the progress of a response. This allows tracking quality metrics over time using LLM as a judge scores without blocking operations in production applications. Live online evaluations conducted using monitors are especially useful for triggering alerts if scores exceed some predefined threshold or detecting data or model drift over time. All of the data collected using monitors is ideal for building new evaluation datasets because, as we know, the need to iterate and optimize doesn't end simply because an application has been deployed into production. Now, let's take a look at a monitor we've set up to track the friendliness of a retail customer support agent. We've evaluated our agent's friendliness and politeness during development and are happy with the results. This is a performance metric that we can continue to record in production, but does not warrant the rigid enforcement of a guardrail. This is Weave, and here on the Traces page are all of the traces we've collected over time from our retail support agent. Clicking on any of these traces lets us drill down into all of the input, output, metadata, and code associated with that trace. Now, let's jump over to the monitors page. Here we've got a couple of monitors, a helpfulness monitor and the friendliness monitor that I mentioned a moment ago. And if I click on the friendliness monitor, we can see all of the monitor details, plus all of the calls that have triggered this monitor. As AI chatbots handling customer support tasks become more prevalent, we want to make sure that customers still feel that they're receiving the proper assistance, attention, and respect. While customers know that they're not conversing directly with another human being, we can still do our best to make sure that our chatbot is helpful, friendly, and polite. Now, if I click on the Edit Monitor button, we can see all of the settings from our friendliness monitor. We've got the name and description up top. we can turn our monitor on or off right here. And here's where we assign our monitor to a particular operation within our application. The LLM call in our application that generates a response for the customer is called retail-support-agent.predict. We can add additional filters here if we only want to trigger our monitor under specific circumstances. And here, we can set a sampling rate so the monitor doesn't fire with every single call that comes in. And now we define the LLM as a judge score for our monitor. I give the score a name and select the underlying model. This list of LLMs includes both those that I've set up in my Weave account, but also popular open source models hosted by CoreWeave, available with W&B Inference. I created this score model previously, so its configuration has already been packaged up. But you can see here that I originally selected GPT-4.1 Mini. Under the configuration name, I've got the system prompt. This is where we add the instructions for our score and ask it to rate the chatbot's friendliness on a scale from 1, very unfriendly or cold, to 5, exceptionally friendly and more, and to justify the score with a brief explanation. We set the response format. In this case, we want JSON. And finally, the scoring prompt, where we've reiterated some instructions from above, requested a JSON structure for the score output, and included this output variable that will be replaced by the output from our support chatbot, the response provided to the customer. Now that we've seen how the friendliness monitor is created in Weave, let's see it in action with our chatbot. This is not Weave. This is a fictional online electronics retailer, W&B Electronics. I'm on my account purchases page, and this is everything I've bought in the past few months. I have my chatbot window open, and I'm going to type, "What's your return policy for laptops?" Well, it's not impolite, but there's some room for improvement, and we want to make sure that our customers feel well taken care of. Now, let's jump back into Weave. Here's the trace from our interaction. And here, you can see the response from our chatbot. Recording this trace in Weave has triggered our friendliness monitor, so let's check out our online evaluation results. I just changed our view here from looking at traces coming only from our support agent to all traces, which includes our monitor traces as well. Directly above our most recent support agent trace is this LLM as a judge score from our monitor. Clicking on it reveals all the score inputs, including the input and output from the support agent interaction. And down below here, we can see a score and the reason behind the score, just as we requested in the friendliness score prompt. A score of 3 is fine. It's highly unlikely we've offended our customer in any way, but we're aiming for scores of 4 or above to provide our customers with the best possible experience. Optimization doesn't end simply because we've deployed our application into production. It's time for further iteration. A good starting point to modify our support agent's behavior is reviewing and revising our current prompts by adding directions to be a bit more friendly. After revising our prompt, to wrap things up, let's ask our updated, hopefully friendlier support agent the same question as before. What's your return policy for laptops? This one does feel a bit warmer. Let's see what our friendliness monitor has to say. Good, a 4. And the reason indicates that this new prompt has us heading in the right direction. Of course, I want to continue to keep an eye on this, and I can easily do so using Weave trace plots. I just click the Charts button up top, click Add Chart. We can start with a scatter plot, and then set the y-axis to our friendliness score. I kind of like this one as a line chart so I can track the average score over time. Weave monitors offer the ability to conduct online evaluations. And with online evaluations, we continue to track critically important metrics even after deployment, allowing us to effectively support and constantly improve our application's performance while in production. Thanks for your time, and if you haven't already, head on over to wandb.me/tryweave and sign up for Weave today.